Good morning. One of the biggest stories in the news this summer, and is still in the news right now, is this vaping epidemic. Okay, you've all heard about it, I'm sure. How can you not? It's constant, and even the commercials now. There's all these lawsuits against the vaping companies and all that. But some people have told me that my show is prophetic, and as most of you know, I am a very proud cigarette smoker. I smoke cigarettes, and I have smoked cigarettes for about 30 years now, and I don't apologize for it at all. It's a legal product, and I feel I have a right to use it. But when vaping came out, and we'll get into this a little later, but when vaping came out, I did try it, not for the reasons that most people try it. But the second I tried the vape, it felt different. I felt my lungs basically catching on fire. And no cigarette product ever did that. And I thought, you know what? First of all, I was concerned about the lithium battery thing. Smoking a lithium battery to me, would any of you take a Duracell, light it, and puff on it? No, no. Unless you're one of those idiots that lick a battery to get a shock on your tongue. So I knew vaping was not going to be for me. But the reason I wanted to try vaping was not to quit smoking. I had no intention of quitting smoking, and I still don't. I wanted to be able to smoke in places where I was no longer welcome. I really hated not being able to smoke in a bar or a restaurant or on a beach in some places. But vaping was sold to us as an alternative that none of the propagandists who told non-smokers that smokers were killing them, even though there's still really no proof of that, it would calm them down. It would shut them up because it was just water. They're not breathing in secondhand smoke. It didn't smell. Well, it also wasn't really any fun either. Like cigarette smoking for me is fun. So now we're going to fast forward to today. And we've got all these people, young people, who are very deathly ill with all these lung issues. Burned lungs. Remember I told you when I vaped, I felt like my lung was on fire? Then I went and I smoked a cigarette and I felt just fine? Yeah. And of course, a pack of cigarettes has never exploded in my pocket or in my purse or in my luggage either. And the machines, they were blowing up. So that's a little problem that was early on. But now all these people are sick, and I think as the last time I heard, 19 or 20 people have died, all under the age of 35. And now everybody's losing their minds about vaping. We have to ban it. Well, wait. The president, we're banning. We got to do something. The government has to ban all vaping products. Okay, so there's 19 people who have died, and I don't know how many are sick. Maybe, I don't know, 900, 1,000, 1,200, and they're going to ban it. Here's my question. Here's what I want you to think about today. And I'd like to listen to me. Whether you're a smoker, non-smoker, where you stand on this issue, think about it. So, when did we know that cigarette smoking, when did the studies start coming out saying that 400,000 people every year die from cigarette smoking related cancers? Emphysema, COPD, all kinds of illnesses. Now they even say that cigarette smoking causes every cancer that affects you. You get colon cancer and you're a smoker, smoking caused your colon cancer. You're a non-smoker and you get colon cancer, they say secondhand smoke caused your colon cancer. Well, I never was around a smoker. Well, then you just have fucking bad luck. Yeah, that's how it is. So, here's the point. Back before I even started smoking, they started saying 400,000 people a year are getting lung cancer. And anybody who gets lung cancer, by the way, if you smoke, smoking caused it. They don't ask you if you ever smoked cocaine, if you ever smoked heroin, if you ever did methamphetamines, where you live, if you have environmental issues. If you're a fireman who smoke and get cancer, it's the smoking that caused it, not the fact that they run into industrial buildings that are on fire with all these chemicals in the air, that they've spent a month at 9/11 at Ground Zero helping to look for bodies and clearing the rubble. If you're a smoker and you get lung cancer, smoking caused your lung cancer. So, we have the cigarette industry under fire. Smoking is being banned everywhere. And so they come up with vaping because vaping is safe, right? It's safe, completely safe. But now we're going to ban vaping. My question, why didn't they ban cigarettes when 400,000 American citizens were dying every year from lung cancer? I submit to you it's because of who the 400,000 were. Most of them were older Americans, retired, on Social Security and Medicare, no longer going out every day and earning a paycheck and paying their taxes. They were in their 70s, their 80s, their 90s. They smoked for 50, 60 years. I submit to you they were expendable. Because the tobacco lobby said they were expendable. The tobacco lobby gave money to government officials, and the government officials said, yeah, we can handle 400,000 Americans dead, as long as they're the right Americans. Because I promise you this, if 400,000, 17, 18, 19, 400,000 people under the age of 35 died of lung cancer and all of them smoked cigarettes, cigarettes would have been banned. And for those of you who are my age, and maybe a little older, a little younger, you wouldn't have ever started smoking because we wouldn't have had them anymore. It wouldn't have been an option. Okay? This is what I submit to you. 19 dead teenagers, and we're going to ban the product. 400,000 dead senior citizens. Oh, well, they had no value. They weren't productive citizens anymore. I'm sure they had value to their families and their friends, but they never thought to ban cigarettes because 400,000 people a year are dying. 19 people die in 1 year, this year, actually in a whatever, since this whole thing came out. And now the president is saying, gotta ban these vaping products, these e-cigarettes. Let's talk about that. I think it's something to think about. I always loved the fact that the whole reason for vaping to begin with was because of these smoking, anti-smoking propagandists who said, oh my God, the children, we have to keep smoking away from our children, cigarette smoking. Well, no 17-year-old who smokes a pack of cigarettes a day or a week or whatever, or steals his parents' cigarettes, has ever died a year after starting smoking cigarettes. 17, 18, 19, 20, 25-year-olds don't die from smoking cigarettes, but they're dying from vaping. They say, well, these children, the vaping products. Now, this I do agree with, by the way. I don't get why someone who wants to quit smoking cigarettes or wants to vape instead of smoking cigarettes would decide they need to smoke creme brulee flavored vaping products or bubblegum flavor. You don't walk in to your cigarette distributor or your tobacco place and say, oh, I want a pack of bubblegum flavored cigarettes. They don't make those. So I do blame the industry to a point for making these flavors because there's no reason for them. I smoke menthol cigarettes. I'm not going to smoke bubblegum flavored anything. I want bubble gum, I'm going to chew bubble gum. Yeah, I want pina colada, I'm going to drink a pina colada. We should get to that as well. Because, of course, nobody bans the alcoholic beverages that are so attractive to children. And if we're going to talk about youth dying from products they're not supposed to have in the first place because they're not legally supposed to be able to buy them, we should talk about alcohol. You know, you're a proud parent, you're 18-year-old, you're sending them off to college, and you get that phone call in the middle of the night. We're sorry to inform you, your son was just killed in a drunk driving accident, and he was the drunk driver. Or your son just killed someone, he was drunk and driving, and now he's in jail. Or the worst of all, your son was at a kegger at a frat house and has just died from alcohol poisoning. And I submit to you, a hell of a lot more people under the age of 35 die from alcohol-related issues than have died from the vaping issues. But I don't hear the president saying, we got to ban alcohol. Because, see, we tried that before. Remember prohibition? Some of you may not remember. I'm reading a book about it right now and how the amendment was repealed because it caused a lot more problems than it solved. I'll probably be doing a show about it when I finish the book. It's one of those books that takes a long time to read because I have to highlight the important parts. And there's a lot of them. So, again, we have this ban coming up on the Juul and the e-cigarettes and the lawsuits coming, all because children are getting sick and dying. And my thing is, it is just a rite of passage. When I went to high school, if you're my age, again, think back to high school. How many of you went to school with kids, or you yourself, you snuck out at lunch and you grabbed a puff? How many of you went to a party at a friend's house and you were all smoking your parents' cigarettes? We all did it. But not all of us turned into lifelong smokers. And you know what? All of us are alive. We're alive. So getting an illegal product like a cigarette, an actual cigarette, is not going to probably kill you before you're 35 years old or before you're 45 years old in most cases, or 55 years old or 65 years old. You'll still be here. The problem with these vaping products is they have been told that they're safe. They're completely safe. You're allowed to use them inside. It's just water. But they're not safe. They are a hell of a lot more dangerous than regular cigarettes. And guess what? When these illnesses started happening and people started dying and the lawsuits are coming, the stock market for normal tobacco products, like your cigarettes that everybody is so terrified of, stock shot up. I wish I owned tobacco stock. I'd be a millionaire today if I had bought into Philip Morris. Because the second they found out that the vaping wasn't working, that young people are dying, because that's always the litmus test. If it kills young people, it's got to go. Well, now people who vape are going back to cigarettes. And here's the point. A lot of people did not start vaping to quit any kind of a habit. They started vaping because they were made to feel guilty about smoking cigarettes in their own homes, on the beach, around their children or grandchildren coming home from school going, Grandma, you're killing me. So they went to the vaping. I have a personal story for you. And then I can't wait to hear your comments. I know about 4 or 5 people who smoked cigarettes. And these people were not die-hard smokers. So I'm going to tell you one real story, true story. And it's you can just times it times 4 because it's with everyone I know who went from cigarettes to vaping. This one person, not going to name the person, it is a female. She used to smoke like not even really smoke. A pack a week, if that. Maybe if she's drinking a couple cigarettes, and then once a year she would go on a cruise and she would smoke on her vacation, her once a year vacation. But she felt guilty about it, and she would always go outside to smoke because she didn't want to poison her family. Like she was told by the propaganda, she was poisoning her children, grandchildren, her husband, who does not smoke. So she'd go outside in the rain, in the cold. And again, 1 pack of cigarettes a week. And then she got a vape. She started vaping. My God in heaven. Every minute of every hour of every day while she was awake, she had that vape in her mouth. Now they tell us that 1 vape cartridge equals 1 pack of regular cigarettes. Now this was a woman who smoked 1 pack of cigarettes a week. And when she started vaping, she turned into a 2.5 pack, 3 pack a day vapor. That vape was in her hand when she was reading a book, when she was doing her dishes, when she was cooking her dinner, walking her dog, always with the vape. It was like an appendage. It was part of her body. She never put it down. The entire hours she was awake. So I have to ask. You say cigarettes are addictive. This is a woman who could control her cigarette smoking to the point where it was maybe 1 or 2 cigarettes a day. And now she's got a vape hanging out her mouth all day long. You tell me. Let's talk about it. It's important. It's very important. And it is important to understand that all life in this country, all lives that are here, whether you're 80 years old or you're 17 years old, both lives are important. And let's also remember that selling or providing any kind of tobacco product, including e-cigarettes, and providing or selling alcohol to someone underage is a crime. And to someone underage who is going out and purchasing or procuring these products is also committing a crime. And yet, what does the nanny government want to do? Punish legal adults who have the brain power and who have the right to make our own decisions on the products we choose to put into our bodies. They want to punish all of us and get rid of these products. I don't honestly have an opinion about the dangers of the vaping because I think that a lot of these kids who have died and gotten sick have not used the product as it was intended. They are doctoring they're putting marijuana stuff, they're doctoring the stuff, they're getting the stuff off the black market because it's not legal for them to buy it. And that's where you have to say, well, it's their own damn fault. Because these kids know it's illegal for them to have a Juul. They know it's illegal for them to use it. And they're doing it anyway. Because that's what kids do. They break the law. But you're not supposed to be punishing every American citizen who is over the age of 18 or 21 by banning a product that was originally made for them. These products were made for us, for adults. They weren't made for children. So I will say this. This is my final say. I agree the flavors need to go. Because again, any good smoker knows you don't smoke bubblegum. And you don't smoke your creme brulee, you spoon it. You crack the caramel and you eat it. Creme brulee you eat, you don't smoke. You don't smoke Tutti Frutti and you don't smoke peanut butter. You smoke menthol and you smoke regular. That's it. You're either a regular or you're a menthol. You smoke 100s or you smoke shorties. You smoke menthol ultralight, regular ultralight, you smoke lights, you smoke standard, you smoke filter or non-filter. Those are the only choices anyone should have when dealing with tobacco products. It's not like spaghetti sauce. You go into the store and there's like 500 shelves of different spaghetti sauces to buy. Tobacco products are menthol, non-menthol, and then you choose your light, ultralight, and your length. Hundreds, 120s, standard, whatever. That's the only choice smokers should have. But we still need choices. And if adults who choose to use vaping products in order to, not bother anyone on the beach. Oh my God, you're smoking a cigarette within 500 miles of my child. The wind's blowing. Oh my God. Which has happened to me, by the way. Then fine. You're an adult. Adults have the right to do things that aren't good for us. That's why we love being adults. And it's not up to the nanny government. Just because 19 kids have died who illegally actually committed a crime. And when people tell me if I die from smoking, they're not going to cry for me because I caused my own death, well, I hope a lot of people aren't crying for these kids, because by using the Juul, these kids committed a crime. So do we cry for them? Or do we just tell everybody how stupid they were? Arrogant. Just like those kids that go to the keggers and get the alcohol poisoning. It's not like they don't know it's not good for them. But they don't have the brain power to know when to stop. Or to know you don't do beer and then shoot it down your throat out of a cone, whatever that's called. Funneling. You don't do that. Adults usually don't do that because we're smarter than these kids. But I don't hear anybody banning beer. I don't hear anybody banning kegs. I don't hear anybody banning the wine coolers that a lot of girls have been raped after drinking. Because they taste good and girls like them. Girls aren't going to drink Jim Beam or Jack Daniels or Captain Morgan. Girls like the fruity drinks. And many have been assaulted because they've been drunk on these fruity drinks. No fruity drinks, the girls will be, oh, I'm not drinking that. That tastes like shit. But we're not banning those. I can't wait to hear your comments on this. It's an important topic. And it has more to do with government, nanny government, once again, getting involved in the personal choices of adults, simply because children are illegally purchasing and using products that were never meant for them in the first place. Let's talk about it. Political Paula is out.